Alright guys, today we're going to be talking a little bit about habits. So the reason why a lot of us are in this funk is because of habits that we develop. So we got to try to find exactly what that habit is and how do we break it. So a habit is actually caused by a cue. So a cue is something like either see something or you feel a certain way or during a certain time that causes you to act. So it causes a response for you to act. And then after you act, you get a reward for it, right? So for instance, say the cue or the trigger is you have stress. So let's go look like a smoker, for instance. So they get stressed. So what do? They smoke. When they smoke, they, get calmed down. And then the reward is feeling that relief of stress, right? So you got the cue, stress, action is smoking, reward is calming down, feeling that stress. The only problem is that a lot of people, that only works well temporarily. It's not good for a long term. So what you want to do is figure out what that cue is. And there are several ways to figure out what that trigger or the cue is. So the way you do it is like, say if your habit is, eating cookies, right? So you want to break that habit of eating cookies. So what you do is you start doing some recording. When you eat that cookie, you want to do several things. One is record where you ate that cookie, so whether it be at the job place or at home, the time that you ate that cookie, how do you feel emotionally, and who was around during that time. So you want to be able to record those things. So for instance, you have a cookie, you want to say, okay, I'm at the house, it's 3:30, kids are around, and I feel stressed. So when you start start logging that in, you want to do it for about a week or two, then you'd actually get to see a pattern and to see what causes that. Sometimes it's at 3 o'clock, it just happens to be 3 o'clock, so you get a cookie every single day at 3 o'clock. It could be emotional. It could be every time you feel stressed or angry, you have to eat that cookie. It could also be the people that you're around. So it could be every time you see Jan, you have a cookie. Or it could be the place. So it could be the place itself. Every time you come home, you got to have those cookies. So, and then once you discover that, then you got to break that habit. All right. So let's say if it's time. Let's say if it's 3 o'clock that you have this cookie every single time, every single day at 3 o'clock, you have a cookie, right? So what you're going to do is, if you know the trigger is the time, so now you're going to do, okay, at 3 o'clock, what I'm going to do is set my alarm at 3 o'clock every single day. And instead of having a cookie, I'm going to change that action. So that action could be, I'm automatically going to take a protein shake. Or, the action could be whatever it is, really. So you could be like, I'm going to go for a walk instead of have a cookie. So I'm going to go for a small 10-minute walk. And then, feel the reward would be less stress or whatever it is. There's got to be some kind of reward to it. So you got to think of what that reward's going to be. And then experiment with it. See if taking that walk is really going to be best, or it may be instead of taking a walk, you eat a handful of carrots, or it could be drinking a protein shake. So you want to be able to experiment with that. Once you start experimenting, and then you find, a good action for that trigger, then you start developing habits. Pretty soon, you don't even need the timer to tell you what to do, and then you wind up staying away from those cookies. So that's actually how habits are formed, and then how you break them, and then how you change that habit. So hope that's helpful for you guys. And work at one at a time. You don't want to be like, well, man, I'm eating cake at night every single time at 10 p.m. and then I'm eating cookies every time at 1 p.m. and then I'm eating this, and that. It's going to be hard to break a bunch of habits at once. Focus on one or two and then slowly change that. And it doesn't have to just be food. It could be anything. Smoking, it could be drinking. A lot of people don't consider drinking as calories, or that they're gaining weight from drinking, but that's very possible where a lot of that gaining the weight is coming from. So another tip, if you have to drink, Vodka water, squeeze of lime juice, probably the best thing to have. It may taste gross in the beginning, but then afterwards, your body will get used to it, and you'll actually prefer that. So hope that helps with all your tips. If you have any questions, please ask. Thanks. Bye.